A senior member of An Garda Síochána has been suspended following allegations of sexual assault during overseas duty. One of more than 100 Gardaí currently facing misconduct claims. Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Brief. Today is Sunday, 19th of July, 2026. I'm Neil, and in the next few minutes, I'll take you through the news that matters at home in Ireland, then across to Britain, and out into the wider world. Everything you need to know before the day begins. Ireland. Let's begin here at home, in Ireland. The suspension of a senior Garda following allegations of sexual assault during an overseas work trip has brought fresh scrutiny on conduct standards within An Garda Síochána. This latest case comes as over 100 Gardaí currently face misconduct claims across the force. The allegation underscores persistent concerns about accountability and the culture within Ireland's National Police Service. This matters because public trust in An Garda Síochána depends on rigorous standards and transparent investigation of serious allegations, and 100 open misconduct cases signals a systemic issue that demands urgent attention from leadership. The government is fast-tracking planning approval for major infrastructure projects, including the Galway Ring Road, in a bid to cut delays caused by environmental appeals. Minister Jack Chambers announced the move to streamline planning laws for critical developments while maintaining oversight of key concerns. The changes aim to accelerate delivery of transport links and economic projects that have been stalled by lengthy review processes. For anyone in Dublin, Cork, or Galway, the practical impact is shorter commute times, better road connections, and faster economic development in their regions. Though those concerned about environmental protections in planning decisions will be watching closely how the new rules are applied. Dublin city centre businesses are seeking state compensation for significant losses they suffered during Ireland's EU presidency, citing restricted access that hit retail and hospitality hard. Social Democrats TD Owen Hayes criticised the implementation as ham-fisted and called for government support to help traders recover. The dispute raises questions about how the state balances major diplomatic events with the needs of local business communities. Here at home, that means shop owners and cafe operators in the capital are facing the prospect of permanent damage to their bottom line, with no clear path to recovery. A bitter outcome for businesses already struggling with rising costs. The government is exploring a generational smoking ban that would prevent the sale of tobacco to people born after a certain date, aiming to reduce smoking-related harm and pressure on the health service. The measure has drawn concern from retailers who warn it could drive sales underground and damage legitimate businesses. The proposal marks an ambitious public health intervention, though implementation details remain unclear. Why does this matter on this side of the Irish Sea? Because if the ban takes hold, it could dramatically reshape smoking rates across Ireland and cut the billions spent annually on smoking-related healthcare. But only if it's enforced and doesn't simply create a black market. UK. Now, across the Irish Sea to the UK. Incoming Prime Minister Andy Burnham will scrap the previous government's digital ID scheme and redirect resources toward cost of living support, signalling a sharp pivot in UK policy priorities. The move abandons plans that would have extended digital identification across the British population in favour of immediate relief for households facing financial pressure. For Ireland, this matters because UK digital ID schemes have cross-border implications for Irish citizens working in Britain, accessing services there, and navigating data protection frameworks post-Brexit. So the abandonment of these plans simplifies cooperation between Irish and UK authorities on identity and information sharing. The Bank of England has announced it will no longer accept bonds tied to coal assets as collateral for its lending facilities, accelerating the financial sector's shift away from fossil fuels. The policy is designed to strengthen the UK's climate commitments and pressure financial institutions to redirect capital toward green investments and net zero projects. Closer to home, UK financial policy changes ripple across to Irish banks and companies operating in British markets, while also reinforcing the climate commitments that shape cross-border energy strategy and Ireland's own net zero targets. And finally, out into the wider world. Russia has continued intensive missile strikes on Kyiv, killing 1 and wounding 13 in the latest attack, while the US and Iran have exchanged direct military strikes for a second consecutive night. American forces have now targeted Iranian positions 8 times following US deaths in a Jordan attack, and Iran has responded with drone strikes against US military installations. The escalation marks a dangerous intensification of direct military confrontation between Washington and Tehran. The knock-on effect for Irish households? Escalating US-Iran military exchanges risk broader Middle Eastern conflict that could disrupt global oil markets and push up fuel prices at the pump. And, as an EU neighbour, Ukraine's ongoing suffering affects the broader security picture Ireland is party to through European commitments. The EU's new entry and exit system for passport control is causing severe delays at airports across Europe, with operators warning of waiting times that have tripled in some locations. Ryanair has urged passengers travelling to EU destinations this summer to prepare for extended queues and arrive much earlier than usual. The system is designed to strengthen border security, but has created logistical chaos at a peak travel period. And the Irish angle? Irish travellers heading to the continent this summer will face substantially longer delays at EU borders, while Irish airports hosting European routes will experience significant congestion as the new system beds in. So departing early is now essential advice for anyone planning a July or August getaway. Hungary's President Tamás Sulyok has signed a constitutional amendment that effectively ends his own presidential term, following pressure from Parliament and signalling internal political turmoil within the EU member state. The move reflects deeper tensions over governance and executive power in Budapest that have drawn EU scrutiny before. It underscores the fragility of political institutions even within EU member states and demonstrates ongoing debates over democratic standards across the bloc. Russia's economy is showing deepening signs of wartime strain, with businesses increasingly resorting to cash transactions to avoid taxation, and the government implementing mobile internet shutdowns to suppress dissent. 4 years into the war in Ukraine, these measures reveal an economy under significant pressure and suggest the conflict is exacting a long-term cost on Russian state capacity. The deterioration of Russia's economic position has direct implications for European security and energy stability, factors that shape the broader geopolitical landscape affecting every EU member state. A lot moving this morning. Major infrastructure decisions here at home, significant shifts in UK policy, and serious military escalation abroad alongside economic strain and travel chaos across Europe. And that's the morning brief for today. Whatever the day brings, take it steady. I'm Neil. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Until then, look after yourself.